Hey there, this is Trey Snodgrass, and listen, I just recently started sharing and uploading faith-based inspirational content to my YouTube channel, and I real quickly just wanted to say hello, and I really believe that God has blessed me with some valuable nuggets, some valuable tips, and truths from His amazing Word that I plan to share with you over the next couple of weeks. But first, let's start out with a really great word that I have for you on today. And I want to start out by asking you a really simple question, and I want to see if you can relate. Have you ever been frustrated? I mean, really frustrated and aggravated, angry, upset with just about everything and everybody in your life, mainly because you can't seem to get ahead in life? Can anybody relate to that? And here's the really tricky part. You're doing everything that you can. You're trying really hard. You're trying to do the right things. You're trying to read your Bible, or at least trying to read daily devotionals just to keep yourself encouraged. You're trying to change the way you think about things. You're even trying not to cuss people out. Can we talk real for a minute? You're trying as hard as you know how to do what you think the Lord wants you to do in hopes that He'll see your effort, He'll be pleased with what you do, and that He will just somehow, supernaturally and miraculously remove all the barriers and obstacles out of your way so that you can enjoy your life. Can anybody relate to that? Does that sound familiar at all? Well, listen, if that describes you in any way, then this first little love letter from God through me to you is really going to help you and really going to help you answer some of these questions. Now, first of all, let me tell you up front, I got good news and I got bad news for you. Now, if you were here with me, I'd actually ask you which one do you prefer first, but I'm going to assume that we would like to get a little bit of good news first. So let me share this good news portion with you. First of all, the good news about what I just shared with you about that struggle that you may be dealing with, the good news is that God can and He will remove those obstacles, remove those burdens and hindrances from your life when it's time. That's the key, when it's the appropriate time. And He'll also help you make sure to identify anything and everything that seems to be keeping you from loving yourself and from successfully living your blessed life. So the good news is that He can and He will help you do just that. Now, the bad news is that it does take time, mainly because of the purpose that He's working through you and in you, and that He's calling you to. So it does take time for you to be prepared and equipped. And the real bad news, and this is what I wanted to share with you, the bad news is that you cannot get it done doing it by yourself. Listen, here's the harsh reality, and yeah, it may sting just a little bit, but it's going to help you get better. The harsh reality and the truth is you can't do right things. I know that sounds really bad, and that goes for all of us. You just can't do it. We don't have the ability in and of ourselves to do the right things because our mind and the way we were born, we're naturally flawed in the way that we think, in the way that we react, and in the way that we respond to the things in life. So that's the reality. You can't have enough willpower to do the right things. You can't be smart enough to do the right things, or to pick the right people, to pick the right types of relationships. You can't even read just a few passages of scriptures enough to know what to do in and of yourself. No, you cannot do any of those things by yourself. And you need to know that, because the more you try, the more you will actually fail. And sometimes we fail miserably. So that's the bad news, and I know it really sounds bad when we say it that way, but we got to know what's bad so that we can appreciate what's good. And here's the other part of the good news. This is some bonus good news that I wanted to give you at the end. The bonus good news is not only does God want to help you and will help you remove it and improve your life, but the good news is that He'll do it, and He'll do it through you if you let Him. That's the key. The Bible tells us in Ephesians, the 3rd chapter, verse number 20. I love this text. It says, now unto Him, we're talking about God, who is able. That means He's able. He has the ability to do it. And here's what I love. He's able to do exceeding abundantly and above. 3 different levels. He can exceed beyond your wildest expectations. He can do exceedingly abundantly above all that you ask or think. Here it is, according to the power that's at work in you. So the key to that is that power is available. It comes from Him, and it begins to work in you and through you if you let it. Because watch this, His power will only work when you stop trying to use yours. Oh, that's a word for you right there. I'm going to say that again in case somebody missed it. God's power is available. It will begin to work in you, but His power will only work when you stop trying to use yours. And when you yield yourself to his power and begin to submit to him as the head and the lead of your life, here's a couple of things. I want to give you 3 things that you can look forward to, that you can appreciate as your life subtly begins to change. First of all, you're going to find out, number 1, that God is faithful. I mean, he's really, really faithful, meaning that he will follow through on any and every promise that he provides for you in his word. And trust me, there are many. As a matter of fact, many of those promises we're going to learn about together and discuss and appreciate together over the next few weeks. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment below, and subscribe to this channel so that you can stay up to date and stay with me as we begin to uncover and embrace and live out some of those promises. So number 1, the more you live with him, the more you yield to him, you're going to find out just how faithful he is. Number 2, you're going to find out that it's easier to connect with him than you probably think. Now, I know that traditional church has sometimes kind of conditioned our minds to think that we have to jump through a lot of hurdles and hoops, and that there is a lengthy process of do's and don'ts that we must master before God will faithfully and efficiently show up in our lives. Well, listen, do not be limited by that misinformation, and don't be held back by that false hype, because God has simplified what we complicate, and at the ounce of any surrender that you provide him in your heart, here's the whole shout of what we're talking about right now. His love will come and meet you right where you are and love you back into your restored, blessed place. Think about the prodigal son. If you've never read that story, love met him on his way back. It did not wait for him to have it all together, to be beautiful, pristine. No, love went, covered his ugly, brought him back, and restored him even better than he was when he left. That's what God will do if you give him the ounce of surrender in your heart. So with God on this particular part of your journey, it does not matter where you are. It just matters where you surrender and then where he can take you from there, okay? That's the second thing I wanted to share with you. The third thing, and then I'm going to be done because I don't want this to be too long. The third thing you can look forward to, when you start living life with Christ, when you start allowing God to be in control of your life, your path gets easier when you're surrounded and connected with like-minded people, kingdom-minded people who are looking for and living out his truths just like you. This is really helpful because it means that when you first begin, you are not going to have all the answers. And that's okay. You're not going to have all the details. You're not going to have all the know-hows and everything that you will eventually learn as you begin to surround yourself with the right types of people. You really can and you really do become a product of your environment. And if you're in a negative environment, it's going to be even more difficult to hear the truths of God. But when you surround yourself with the right people, and that's what we want to do here, is create a community that's safe for you to do just that. It will attract other people who can benefit from your journey and who can add to your life as you begin to learn more about God and find out more about you in the process. So this is good because you're not going to have all the answers. You're going to still make mistakes. But here's the good part about that. When you're in the right environment, the difference is you begin to learn that God even takes your mistakes, even the places where we've messed up, where we've come up short. He takes those things, and in his master plan, you'll find out that he still allowed it because he knew that he could use that very thing to draw you back and closer to him. It's a beautiful way to live your life when you realize that everything has been accounted for and God still decided you were worthy of being loved, you were worthy of being blessed. Now let me show you how to put it all back together and how you can come out looking better than you did before. Here's what I always love when I'm sharing with my church sometimes. I love telling them, and I'll tell anybody, I do not look like what I've been through, simply because God has provided a covering of his love to cover up my flaws and my mistakes, so that when people look at me and look at the walk I'm trying to walk out now, they see him and they see his glory instead of who I used to be. It's a beautiful thing. So listen, I hope this was just a quick little reminder to you of how blessed you really are and how much you really love. I hope this was a help to you. If so, go ahead again, like, subscribe, and comment below. Let's share with each other just how good God is and some of the things that we look forward to learning about him and about us as we surrender and walk more and more after him. All right, so listen, that's my time for today. I'm looking forward to an amazing journey with you over the next couple of weeks. My plan is to show up each and every Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time to bring you a new inspirational message, to bring you a right now word from the Lord, to share with you even from my own life experiences, some of the things that I've learned that hopefully can help you and help us do life the right way, and that's God's way, okay? So I look forward to seeing you then. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or comments about anything, or if I can be a help to you in any way. Hold on to this word, share it with somebody else, and be blessed in this week. Until we meet again, the same time, same place next week. Take care and be blessed.